Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about how to turn around your law firm marketing to generate consistent qualified leads without being dependent on you as the attorney, even if your system's database time, people, process, and cash flow are lacking. What we're going to cover today is we're going to go through some quick intros, who we are and what we do and what do we know. We're going to go through a gut check. Is it time to ask yourself some serious questions? We're going to go through what everybody else is saying and what most people actually don't do in the marketing space, especially the legal marketing space. We're also going to be talking about how to finally focus on your top revenue producing activities that only you can do as the attorney in the Golden Goose, and how you can gain control over your leads, get steady, consistent cash flow in your law firm, and consistently scale your law firm. So this training is for you if you're an attorney, first and foremost, and or part of a law firm. If you're done feeling exhausted and frustrated and alone, but have absolutely no idea how to conduct what we call a stop restart. If you're an achiever and you feel like you've hit a plateau and want to get back to making an impact and consistent revenue. If you have no employees to delegate to currently and you feel really scared and stuck about that. Or if you have existing employees with leadership mentality and attributes, but don't have the time to train, empower, and mold them, and you might be lacking the marketing system to be able to support them with that and hand it over to them with consistency and accountability. So it's time for our gut check. We have some really serious questions we want to have you ask yourself. Number one, are you exhausted being the only person in your firm that's focused, should we say worried, about leads, the calendar, cash flow, and you're working too many hours, taking on all the responsibility and the authority at the sake of your health and your sanity? And the kicker is that you're not even getting a guaranteed draw at the end of the week, but you're working to pay everybody else. So let's also ask you, do you have weeks where you just don't know where your next hire is going to happen? And you're staring at a blank calendar and or maybe you have appointments of clients that have already paid you, but they're not bringing in additional work and just want to use your time up and suck up your time on your calendar. Or maybe you have all these various appointments on there, but none of them are generating opportunity and or additional cash flow for your business. This is what we hear so often over the past 25 years from law firms across the country. Do you feel that you work way too many hours and don't have enough time for your family and still don't have enough time to generate new business? And quite honestly, you don't even know what to do if you did have any time available. Where do I start? There's so much information out there and it's confusing and overwhelming. And as you probably have heard this statement before, a confused mind says no, especially when you have limited time and maybe no team to delegate or hand it over for them to lock arms with you to deploy your ideas and your strategies. Do you feel like there are way too many gurus out there, especially in the legal marketing space, telling you what you should do, and you still can't see clearly on where or how to start? Or maybe you've hired some of these gurus and you really don't know how to track and measure the effectiveness of their strategies or what they're doing for their monthly retainer. If any of this sounds like you, none of these things are the real problem. The real problem is you haven't implemented, and maybe you don't even know of, a proven duplicatable legal marketing strategy that is not dependent on you. Something that is tried, tested, and proven that takes the training off you as the attorney. That's what we see and hear as the real problem from law firms across the country. They're getting a bunch of great ideas, having some phenomenal brainstorming session, but there's nothing that has been been proven, that can be duplicated over and over again in a systematic process format with accountability that can be handed off to a team member. And I'm not even talking about a team member with a master's in marketing and or any kind of marketing background, especially a legal background, legal marketing background. That's what we see as a real problem. It's not time, it's not money, it's not shortage of ideas that we hear from attorneys all the time, time and time and time again. The real problem is you don't know how to let go of the day to day, and understandably with confidence, so you can be free to do the things that you're craving to do as an entrepreneur. There's no strategy that's been out there in a very methodical, one small step at a time, one idea at a time to let go of the day to day. So whether we start with the calendar, whether we start with you being responsible for pushing the marketing plan, for implementing the foundational strategies to set you up for success. And we're going to go over that a little bit here later in today's presentation. I know we're going fast, but we want to honor your time because that is one of your shortest resources that you have available. Do I dare say even more so than money? So, with a proven process, a proven marketing process, what we hear from our attorney clients is they're able to finally stop waking up at 2 a.m. in a panic because of money, because of leads, because of conversions, let alone delivering on the work that clients have already paid you for. And they're able to generate reliable, qualified, consistent stream of new clients week in and week out without reinventing the wheel every Monday. And they're finally able to get control of the never ending to do list that continually grows and is dictated by others' emergencies and agendas. And they're able to consistently we have weekly time, not nights and weekends, to work on the creative and the business stuff every single solitary week without fail. So let's talk about who we are and what do we know. And I'm not going to go through this slide line item by line item. You can read it here and see it here. And we'll also have a copy of this in the show notes today. But I have over 22 years and my name is Molly McGrath, and I've coached and consulted and directed presidents and founders of national legal organizations. And I've personally coached over 5,000 law firms in my 22 plus year career. I have a very specific skill set, and you can see in many of my 3 times Amazon #1 bestseller selling published books that I have that specific legal skill set experience in leadership and team empowerment and continuous improvement with law firm teams and development. And we've coined the term entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurs world, and we talk about that in many of our books. I have a unique ability to be able to go into a law firm and very, very quickly and easily be able to infiltrate new markets in regards to who's doing what to reach goal, to generate the consistent leads that you need, to do the KPIs, to do the Kaizen continual improvement plans, the revenue mapping, and get to the root cause analysis of all the things you need in regards to your people, process, profit, and market. Everything that we do is about action-based marketing management, and we'll go into that a little bit more in depth. I've worked with over 1,500 law firms in regards to the hiring and recruiting side of their law practice, whether it's their first hire or when they're shaking in their boots and not sure how they're going to pay for them, how they're going to train them, how they're going to onboard them, or their 10th hire when they're still shaking in their boots about how they're going to find the time to train them and hire them and pay, and onboard them and pay for them. And as you can see here, here's some of the books that I've written and published, and I'm very honored to be on the Amazon #1 bestseller published authors list. Again, we'll give you some other resources for you to dive deeper into our background, as I know attorneys really like to do their due diligence and research. My partner also is Rosalind Cassidy. Rosalind and I met 25 years ago at a legal conference with the National Network of Estate Planning Attorneys when truly they were we're the only legal organization out there from a place, and brought coaching to the really to the industry when coaching wasn't even a street term, especially in the legal arena. Rosalind has worked very closely with myself in many different legal organizations, in addition to about 5+ years ago when she launched Digital Marketing Strategist and spent every waking minute diving deep into the digital and social platforms and marketing strategies, especially in the legal space. She has worked with giants such as Russell Brunson, Catherine Howell, Rachel Pedersen. You know, probably some of these street terms if you've been hanging around the marketing space, especially in online and digital and social strategies. And Rosalind has worked very, very closely going through many of their elite programs, in addition to joining Russell Brunson's Tucumma Club that he works with high caliber, only high caliber clients in regards to the marketing space. So she has supported several hundred entrepreneurs that have profited from $1 million to $5 million with paid traffic for their online marketing funnel. And she's actually sharing with me this morning that she was so excited that she's gotten her clients down to under $5 a lead, which is unheard of in the digital space, let alone in the digital marketing space for legal arena, which the leads are anywhere north of $20. So she's really mastered that and spent the past 5 years. You can go on the website and see a lot of the testimonials. I know people that do a lot of webinars will waste your time with showing all the testimonials. And what's different about today's training and class is that we're making it all about you. We know your time is so very limited. So we'll give you some resources to dig more into our background and read some of our testimonials and get some proof of concept. So let's talk about some of the pains that we've seen and what we're hearing from attorneys across the country that they're hearing. And what we're seeing is everyone's preaching about double your leads, 10x your revenue here. But what people are not talking about is how to make consistent weekly cash flow that does not need to be complicated. Everything that we see and that we attend, and trust us, we dive deep into every single strategy that we see out there from marketing as a whole, but in particular legal marketing. And everything we say, we're saying there's no way attorneys, they're overwhelmed to begin with, and they're not knowledgeable for, they don't teach you about legal marketing in law school, and they don't have the time or the bandwidth or the energy or the infrastructure to be able to learn this. And this looks way too complicated. You have to chunk it out in bite-sized pieces. So people are making it, especially in the legal space, what we've heard from attorneys, that it's almost like a witch doctor, like they make it voodoo. So it's so overcomplicated that you feel handcuffed to write a large check, to write a check for somebody to figure out, because if you can't understand it and you're one of the top intellect in the country in any profession, then I probably should just write this person a check because I don't understand it. So they must know what they're talking about. People are not talking about how to empower your team by confidently delegating what does need to be effective and real to get you the results. They're not talking about predictable results day in and day out. The KPIs, the ROIs, the analytics, the measurements are all talked about very much on a monthly basis, where quite honestly, at the end of the month, it's too late. You've already wasted so much time and money and employee resources to find out that X, Y, or Z did not work. We're talking about predictable results that you should be able to see, and you should demand seeing results on a daily basis. A business that practically runs itself, nobody's teaching you how to do that. And unless you have, these are the needs that attorneys are screaming for. And this is what we hear. So if we're not having a conversation about this, all the leads in the world, all the 10xing your revenue in the world, it's not going to mean a hill of beans if you don't have these foundational needs met. how to finally step away from the day to day while focusing on growing your law firm with confidence, knowing that your team has your back. And we're not talking about building up an entire marketing department and adding people to the bus and adding people to your overhead and payroll. We are not fans of that strategy at all. In fact, our model is about less is more. And at the end of the day, it's about one small step at a time and really unpacking it that way with accountability in weekly, daily measurement. In our experience, that has been the only successful way versus is throwing everything against the wall and waiting and seeing if it sticks. We know that you can see this in a daily and weekly fashion. How to control in a controlled growth manner is what attorneys say to us. They don't want to grow gangbusters for the sake of growing. They're not able to sustain that or to manage that. So how to grow your firm and your future self, like with a proven best practice approach in the legal space, somebody who understands the legal space. So let's get into the training. What we hear is the biggest and the greatest and the grandest struggle for any business owner, especially a law firm, is that you feel alone. So many entrepreneurs tell us that they feel completely alone. Even when you belong to national legal organizations, you have listservs, you have conferences, you have colleagues and buddy coaches all over the country that would take your phone call or text in the drop of a hat, day or night. It's still everything is on you when it comes to the day-to-day grind. So the greatest struggle for a business owner is they believe that nobody else has their back. Nobody else is willing to do the hard work. And at the end of the day, when the clock turns 5, they feel like they're the ones that are standing there at the end of the day to push the big boulder up the hill alone. If you've read any of our books in the past, if you know anything about us, you know that our mission is very much about creating entrepreneurs in an entrepreneur's world. We always say the success of any attorney, any business owner is 100% dependent on the people that they surround themselves with their team that they empower, give permission, give authority, and enroll into their overall vision. So often we hear from team members when they have vulnerability and their attorneys share what they're up to, what's working, what's not working, where they're jammed up, what their ultimate goal is. It's amazing how many team members will actually get behind you. And not only that, but they'll be the ones that'll say, let me push the boulder up the hill. You go work on your top 3 revenue producing activities and let me do this. I'll come back to you. I will report. And when I'm stuck, I will come with a proposed solution mindset versus constantly delegating back up and handing you more problems. And when you enroll your team in your struggles are no longer. And they absolutely are coming from a place of proposed solutions versus constant problems. So it doesn't feel like this visual every day, as I'm sure many of you can resonate with. So let's go into the secrets of how to get out of there, how to get your team to step up, how to start generating consistent leads, get off of the hamster wheel, get off the roller coaster, get out of feeling like it's Groundhog Day every day. The secret number 1 is to know your numbers and to empower your team so they understand the numbers. Once you break it down and you share with your team, because you've heard the saying once, you've heard it a million times, the numbers don't lie. So go the numbers, so go the calendar, so go cash flow, so go conversion rates. Everything, the 3 C's around the calendar and conversions and client experience all go around knowing your numbers. So we have a simple fact pattern here, which is really a real case, a real live fact pattern of the average small solo attorney coming into our office and speaking with us. This is for somebody just starting out or maybe a couple years in. And I'm using very safe numbers because I don't want to freak anyone out or have anyone gapping out here. But I'm using an average of a starting law firm that comes into us. So, how to make $25,000 of new found money that is already laying around and coming into your office simply by empowering your team that understands the numbers. So, this example that we have here, if you take an average of $25,000 a month as a monthly revenue goal, and hopefully you're taking out a pen and paper at this time and writing down what's your monthly revenue goal. Now, here's the deal. You have to include paying yourself first. We're getting you immediately, if there's nothing else you take away from today, is that we're getting you out of the pay the rent law. We're getting you out of you taking the scrap or whatever's left over at the end of the month. The goal is to no longer operate like that, because that will just feed your emotional and mental and energetic defeat day in and day out. So we have to start with the simple mindset shift of putting your number in there as well. You are a line item. You are part of the monthly overhead. And then we're taking a very conservative average fee here. So we're taking something, again, staying with our theme of very simple numbers here, of $2,500 for an average case value, an average fee that you have. And so from reaching your goal, you need to get 10 hires a month. Well, when we look at that, and we're looking at, these are real conversion rates. When people call me those, I'll say, tell me what your conversion rates are. Oh, I don't know. We're not really tracking it right now, but I believe it's about 80%, if not 90%. Everyone that calls into this office moves forward. So the first conversion rate here is from initial call to taking the next inspired action in your system, in your process, in your law firm. Most people, it's an initial consultation, be that a phone call or a Zoom or something that's in a conference room. This is the average that we see, and attorneys are horrified once they see this. So when we start looking at your conversion rate, it's actually more phone calls than you would anticipate that are needed to reach that goal. And then the second closing rate here, because the conversion rate of people moving from the initial contact into the next step of your process is not a closing rate, it's a conversion rate. And we'll go into this deeper within the program, and then the phone calls that are needed to make, and then the closing rate in the conference room. Again, this is the average. When we have people understand their number and share it with their team and empower their team of what it means and what role they play. So I always laugh when people call me and say, I just need to hire a receptionist. And I say to them, that's your sales force. You know that, right? If your receptionist is not doing their job and they are not converting people and moving people to the next right move, then your job as an attorney, I hate to say it, but it's irrelevant. You have no one to meet with if they are not getting people to take the next right action and move and meet with you. So once they have that clarity and they start to enroll their team members of what is needed and say, look at this is our average conversion rate that we have right now. What can we do? What can we say? What's going on in the phone? And start doing a deep dive into some of the data and the analytics of what's occurring immediately within 1 week. I'm not even saying a month, a quarter, a year, this additional $25,000 of new revenue and these conversion rates and these closing rates will increase with the phone call rate going down. So I just want to say this from a simple perspective. As you can see, so often when people see the numbers and they understand the numbers and they know the numbers, the number one comment I get from team members, which excites the entrepreneur to hear this, is that that's it? That's all? And they say that's it, meaning that's all we have to do to reach our goal. And we won't even get into today what's in it for them. I'll be talking about that a little bit later. But right now, we're not even going to get, because I'm sure some of the trained skeptics are saying, well, what's in it for them to care about this? Or they're saying, well, yeah, it's great that you're making $25,000 a month, but what's in it for me? I'm going to have my employees marching in asking for a raise. No, no, no. This is a training about opportunity and possibilities. So don't go down that negative tunnel here just yet. But when you see these numbers and you see it in black and white and you see the clarity of it, the secret of understanding your numbers, automatically your revenues increase, automatically your conversion rates. And this isn't even about increasing your fees. This isn't even with spending a penny more or a ounce of additional time on marketing efforts at all. So hopefully this is really exciting for you. And if you don't know your numbers, my recommendation after today's training is for you to schedule some time and to sit down with your team members, sit down with your receptionist, your client service coordinator, whatever terminology resonates with you that you're using within your law firm, and get really clear on your numbers. Don't make it into a project if you don't know it already now. Just start playing with it and get something down on paper. So next week and the week after and the month after, you can start tracking it, and you will automatically see your conversion rates go up. So hopefully that's exciting for you. Secret number 2 is how to eradicate and eliminate the drama and micromanagement in 1 week. Yes, 1 week with leaders leading leaders. So here's the deal. How we can do this is, number 1, I go and identify a team leader. Chances are it's probably the person that you're getting to know your numbers with, but it cannot be you as an entrepreneur and as the attorney. And you need to give them permission to lead and to grow. So they already know that attorneys by and large are a little bit hesitant to give up control. But again, if you are having a team leader with a weekly freestanding, same place, same time marketing meeting on the calendar with an agenda, and if you don't have an agenda, just shoot me an email and I'd be glad to share the one that we have our consulting law firms use, and it works very effectively. I'll give it to you as a gift for today. Just shoot me an email at Molly at lawfirmmarketingmoves.com, and I'll absolutely send that to you. But once you have that weekly consistent meeting, think of it like a board of directors meeting, you won't have to worry about letting go of control, because you know you have that there as a safety net to look at what they're doing, what's working, what's not working, etc. Also, the secret to get leaders leading leaders is to get them to move into proposed solutions versus problem mindset. Just that one simple shift of saying, here's what I'd like you to do. So again, you're discussing your strategy and your plan and your weekly marketing. They're leading it as a team leader. They have permission to lead it. And then you educate them that you want them to go ahead and try it, but come back to you with proposed solutions versus delegating back up with the problem mindset. Immediately, that will eliminate the drama and the micromanagement, just that mindset shift right there. And then once you know your numbers, you're going into weekly KPI, key performance indicator measurements that are profit focused, process focused, conversion focused versus emotionally focused that most entrepreneurs, most team members, most attorneys operate. And just that shift will immediately, when you have measurements and you have reporting and you're looking at your key performance indicators, we identified them in secret 1 of what you're looking at. Again, nothing matters but the numbers. So go the numbers, so go cash flow, so go the calendar, so go the process within a law firm. And when you make it and anchor it to reporting and measurements and proposed solutions versus problems, and you're having meetings, stand-up meetings that are same place, same time, hardwired and scheduled, that are led by your team versus you, that one shift alone gets them to shifting into leaders leading leaders versus and immediately out of employee mindset. Secret number 2 is how to double your leads and conversion rates without you driving it and having to do any, I'll even say, of the work, let alone all the work. So 95% of marketing is follow-up. There's a whole study from 1823 in a book called Get More Clients Now. And in that book, they talk about it's a 12th touch before the average PNC, potential new client, will buy from you before they even consider the buy. So touch 12 is where they say, I really need to consider this. I need to consider buying this. And it's actually touch 20 where they actually write the check. So the 12th touch is before they consider the buy. We have a whole system on Dialing for Dollars system in regards to how to double your leads and your conversion rates. Again, without you doing this, this is all client service, your front stage, your administrative people. We have one firm that generated $16,000 in 1 week just by implementing the Dialing for Dollars system. And we have that whole thing posted on our website, so you can just search and get a copy of that. Identifying an internal accountability cop. And we like that terminology because it's somebody who is holding people honest while respectfully accountable. Again, anchoring back to the KPIs. This is a way that you can absolutely double your leads when you start doing the Dialing for Dollars system and you have somebody who is managing and running and leading the internal accountability. Again, not you as an entrepreneur. You need to be freed up to work on your top 3 revenue producing activities. And then they're over communicating and over delivering from a client experience, from a referral experience, from a workflow experience, from getting the production and delivering your quote unquote product out there to the clients, and you get that reputation in the marketplace, and they're over communicating and over delivering in every single marketing message versus speaking into benefits and features like most people do. And again, a marketing message is the scripts that your receptionist or client service is using. It is the conversations that you're having in the conference room from a place of increasing your closing rates. It is the conversations that you are using in your follow-up systems, your follow-up calls, your email campaigns, whatever you have in a place, from your nurture campaigns, etc. So our unwavering commitment to is transforming the way that law firms, especially small solo law firms, impact their marketplace from a place of frustration and uncertainty to a place of consistency, viability, and ease. And these are direct words from our clients. They come in and we take you from where you are to where you want to be. And they want freedom. They want emotional freedom. They want mental freedom. And as I talked about earlier, it doesn't have to be so hard and confusing and overwhelming and daunting. And it really fulfills the entrepreneurial quest for freedom, that it's no longer a goose chase, and that we're now making you the beneficiary of what we have implemented over the past 25 years, what 500 or 5,000 law firms have implemented. And they can have those top 3 secrets that we have implemented. What I love about that, it's not requiring any additional money for the most part on you. It's just enrollment and engagement, and usually starting with the people that you're already employing in your law firm. And here's the secret, attorneys. They're desperately waiting for you to let go of control. They're desperately waiting for you to give them time and attention, your time and attention, your undivided, dedicated time and attention. So if you carve out that 1 hour a week to just wholly, fully focus on and give them that time. You know, it's interesting because when we hear from clients why they hire an attorney, the reasons that we hear is that they made me feel safe. They made me feel acknowledged. I felt heard. They gave me their undivided time and attention when I met with them, even though they were more expensive than the guy or gal down the street. And that's what your team members want. They really want to help you. So we're not fans of saying you need to go out and hire a big marketing agency. You need to add additional people to your payroll. Quite the opposite. So we want you to get very clear on your why. What if you never had to worry about marketing money, follow up, and delivering on promises to your clients and referral sources any longer? How would it make you feel? And how would it affect your energy? How would it affect your emotional and mental space? How would it affect your life, your practice? And let's not even forget about impacting your home life. So what we hear so often from law firms is that, I'm not making it home. I'm missing Little League. My family's frustrated. Another night that go back to that picture of the solo guy pushing the boulder up the hill alone. What if you no longer had to live like that? So after we just showed you, can you see how a proven process could support your mental, emotional, and financial freedom? And it works, plain and simple. You can go to our website, you'll see thousands of testimonials there. You have social proof everywhere that you turn in regards to what we've done for law firms across the country. So we have a question for you. And we bet that if you let us set this up in your firm, you could literally generate $25,000 in newfound money in 1 week. We can show that to you, and we can empower and enroll your team on how to do that to increase your engagement like we have for 5,000 plus law firms over the past 25 years. So if you want to finally figure out how to create consistent cash flow, decrease your stress, create engaged, empowered, emboldened employees while for you to gain that sacred time to think and operate like the business owner that you signed up to hang your own shingle for, right? So we know that once your marketing training's launched, we will get you your clarity on your circle of focus as a golden goose, your top 3 revenue producing activities that only you as the attorney can do, while having your team empowered on theirs as well. We get you in front of more qualified potential new clients. Somebody's actually answering the phone and doing the follow-up, and you have full faith and confidence that that's happening, while they're protecting your back and protecting your time and your calendar. We can increase that conversion rate and closing rate right off the bat because of number 2, because somebody actually has that internal accountability cop, and we can track and measure the phone calls and the follow-up. So you can finally get your nights and weekends and family back, and your emotional and mental capital accounts are in the positive versus operating from a place of depletion. So these results are not being pulled out of thin air. 25 years on the inside, in the deep, deep inside, the good, the bad, the ugly, until we get to the place of the victory for 5,000 plus law firms, consulting, coaching, and training people just like you on how to get the predictable, easy results for your business and life that are dependable, and they're consistent and constant, and get you off of that hamster wheel. And the best way to see if our program is a perfect fit for you is just to walk you through it and see how this could work for you. But there are a few conditions that you need to be aware of first and foremost. We only have space remaining to work with 24 more new law firms on a one-on-one basis. So we've opened up our calendars to work with weekly accountability calls for implementation for you and your team member. Or if you are in a space where you don't even need to be involved in it, we can work just with your team member. But we only opened up 50 spots, and we just opened those up, and we have 24 remaining. Okay, my headset disconnected there. So we only have 24 remaining. And secondly, we only work with law firms and people who we know that will see immediate results. We honestly say no to more than we say yes, because we know they just don't have the mindset or the drive or truly the desire to do the little bit of work each week that we do assign for you to do. And again, it's not hard. And we know that your time is very valuable and limited. So you must have what it takes. So here's the deal. First, we're going to walk you through, and we're actually going to show you behind the scenes on our back end of what the Law Firm Marketing Flow program is. And then after you register, we will schedule your VIP customized session. And again, it's on a first come, first served basis. We only have a limited time each week to work hands on hand, one-on-one, customized with law firms. So the way we see it, one of two things will happen right now in our experience. Scenario one, and this hopefully will most likely occur for you, you'll say that you this is what you've been looking for. You want in and you're ready to do the work, and you're ready to put your money where your mouth is and take it to the next level. You're ready to empower your team, give up control, and have somebody else carry the load and push a boulder up for you. And then we'll start working together immediate to get your firm up and running and get your path and plan in place. Scenario number two, for the small firms that we work with, typically people that are stuck in analysis paralysis and fear, they'll say, this is great, but I have a big case. I'll wait until after that. And then there'll be something else that pops their head. That's been their pattern in the way that they've operated their life and their practice for so long. And you're either committed to setting your firm up for success, or you'll go back to how you've been doing it all along. So here's what we're going to do next. Once we receive your information and you signed up, we'll send you a quick email reminder to book your video VIP session, which will be recorded. We'll get your foundation in place. We'll start implementing the 3 secrets right away so you can start to get proof of concept and get money in the door immediately with what's already sitting around your office without spending any additional money. It just giving us dedicated time. And it's truly 8 hours a week of a staff member that can get that implemented. We want you to get that victory. We want you to see the win. We want you to see this isn't another magic juice, magic bullet, or get rich quick scheme that's going to require you to shut down and reinvent everything that you've been doing. We will begin immediately implementing on that day and time for your first call that we schedule. But you need to be available for your VIP session when you request it. If you're not, then you'll forfeit your spot to work with us, which also means that you'll be pushing back your success that much longer. There's so many firms that know what they're going to do with that $25,000 that they implement and generate in that first week. That's your investment for some of the digital and social strategies that you've been wanting to implement. And we're going to teach you how to reinvest that back in your business to get that 10x return. And this training is getting viewed by 25,000 law firms. And the VIP marketing strategy sessions, again, are on a first come, first serve limited basis. We only opened up 50 spots and they're going very, very quick. So with that said, you and I both know our remaining bonus slots will be reserved very fast, especially when you see the pricing. So you'll need to grab a time with that slot right away. So let's go and take a look and see if this is a good fit for you. I'm going to take you into the back end of our member website. So after this, you're going to go to the legal marketing flow. I'm not going to go away into the website that we have here to talk you through everything that the program delivers for your team. But I will tell you that we have 3 classes a week that are all recorded and in the back end of our members website. Again, we take you from where you are to where you want to go. So if you are just focusing on referral and relationship and community outreach marketing and just how to get more referrals in your business, that's a class we're going to start you with on Wednesdays. If you're in a place of growing and scaling and you're ready to deploy digital and social and funnel strategy, then you're going to start on Tuesday's class. If you're in a place of how do I get my client services, my receptionist up to speed and start converting some of these phone calls in there, what are the scripts? What do they say? What do they do? What's our process for our intake and our conversion process? How do we close better in the conference room? You're going to be spending time in Thursday's class where we're going to be working on the intake and sales strategies in addition to how to get leverage speaking events and things of that nature. So we've done all the guesswork for you. We've segregated all of our training and all of our plans in regards to these various different classes. Again, it's designed going to take you from where you are. So you'll get instant access to all the digital and social media trainings on Tuesday, the relationship and referral masterclass trainings on Wednesdays, the law firm sales strategies and speaking strategies on Thursdays. And then we'll also have once a month weekly advertising and presentation master classes on Fridays. We'll have monthly open forum hot seats and Q&A sessions. And then again, we will have for the first 50 firms, we're going to be working with you on your customized strategic plan of how to get you in here. There's no shortage. We have broken out every area of marketing for people in the personal service industry, which you are in a law firm model. So once you join and you go here and you sign up and you get immediate access, and again, it's an early bird special, grandfathered in for $197 a month. And then once you join and get access, we're going to take you here. Here's the back end of the members website. And I think it's so critical to show you it, not just to talk about it, but classes have already been in session. So we are going to be walking you through each week. We train it and we put it back here in the back end of our members only website. We put all the various trainings here each week and break it down. We put the recording, we put all the tools that you need. So whether it's a digital and social strategy, whether it's working on the relationship and the referral marketing strategy, or if it's about how to create a law firm social media calendar, we've done this for you. We have broken all this out with 366 days of law firm post. We've given you the 52 questions of downloadables for your law firm, all the inspirational quotes, all the major holiday quotes. So all the guesswork is out there for you. In addition, for the first 50 law firms, again, that join, we are giving you full access to the Team Empowerment Academy. So you get all the bonus team training videos of how to get your team members to start to step up and lead. Everything in regards to the essentials of hiring, firing, keeping great employees, how to have those empowering conversations. We give you a new employee 90-day training plan, everything that you need, again, in regards to hiring, firing, communication, project management, time management, leadership, employee reviews, job descriptions, bonus incentives, employee handbooks, how to conduct and quarterly planning retreats for law firms, and everything that we have give you, again, restricted access for an additional for the first 50 people. So as you can see, there is no stone unturned. This is 25 years of everything it takes to create legal marketing flow, everything to create from a place of an empowered team and to free you up as the attorney. So again, once you come here and you sign up and you enroll today, you're going to immediately get access here to the back end of the members website. And then you're going to get a link to my calendar and to Rosalind's calendar. And by next week, we are going to be on the phone with you. We're going to be on Zoom. We're going to record it. We're going to hit a heart and we're going to start talking about those 3 secrets and how to help you implement them immediately. So we look forward to seeing you on the inside, and we look forward to creating a consistent cash flow calendared system for you.